In the end, all we are is our story. What is your story, and what do you want it to say about your life? I'm Ann C.K. Nickel, a living, walking miracle who is on a mission to transform 1 million lives, one story at a time. Help me reach my big, audacious goal by joining me each week as we discuss all things story. Welcome to the Story Shepherd Podcast. Hello, everyone. It's a new, beautiful day. This is Ann C.K. Nickel, the Story Shepherd, living life on the upside and sending blessings to you all for a wonderful new week full of possibilities. On today's show, I welcome Rachel Best. Rachel is a keynote motivational speaker, author, podcast host, and the founder of How to Make a Mark in the World, Finding Your Signature. She is certified as a neurolinguistic empowerment mindset coach, and Rachel specializes in guiding women to generate income online through multiple streams of passive income, working from home with just a 2-hour workday. She also teaches you how to attract your ideal customers, build your brand, and grow your email list. And as you can tell by her bio, Rachel is an amazing woman doing great things in the world, and she is a wonderful person I am proud to call a friend. So thank you, Rachel, for being my honored guest today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you. I'm happy to have you here. And as your bio states, you are doing so many wonderful things in the world to make your mark in the world. So please tell us more about that and share your story with us.
Yes. Well, again, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here today. And, my story started, oh my gosh, several years ago. And it started when I walked into my house, and I was married with 3 children, and I walked into my house and my husband was gone. No, I had no idea that he was thinking about leaving. I was just total blindside. And so, that's really when my story of redemption and finding God and just following God and into where I'm at currently. And as I went through the divorce, and I went through making a lot of really bad decisions, it put me into a really, really, really dark place of my life. And I I worked at a salon, and my friends kept they saw me going down a bad path, and as good friends are, they kept asking me to go to church. And I kept telling them that I was good. Like, I didn't need to go to church. Like, we didn't grow up in church. Like, I always believed in God, and I knew there was a God, but I thought he was like out there. Like, I thought he was out in the sky somewhere. I didn't really know who God was. And I actually thought that Easter was about the Easter Bunny and Christmas was about presents. Like, I had no idea that those actually had significant meaning. And also the rainbow. Like, I didn't even know until I was 29 years old that the rainbow had a significant purpose and God's promise to never flood the earth again. I did not know that until I was 29 years old. And so as I was making a lot of bad decisions, getting into a really dark place in my life. I was really in the pit of life. And finally, I had came into work one day. I used to do hair, and I came into work one day, and I was just bawling and I couldn't stop. And my boss is like, Rachel, what can I do for you? Can I give you money? Like, how can I help you? And I just told her that, I don't know. I don't know what I need. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. And she said, Rachel, when I don't know what to do, and she pointed up to the sky, she goes, I go to the man upstairs. So I text my friend and I said, hey, I think I'm ready to go to church with you. Can I go to church with you? And so she came and picked me up, And it was only like 2 minutes down the road, but she probably figured that she better come get me or else I might bail. But she came and picked me up, and I actually had just been out to the bar the night before and, making bad choices. And when she picked me up, we went to church, and the whole sermon was about the two different paths. You can either keep going down a path of destruction and ruining your life, or you can go down a path of forgiveness and also the way, the truth, and the life. And the songs that were played was Amazing Grace, and I'm just sitting there bawling my eyes out again. And they did an altar call, and my heart was just like pounding. At that time, I didn't know that was Holy Spirit. At that time, I didn't know that was God speaking to me, like, you need to go up there. But my heart was just pounding, and I was crying. And I asked my friend if she would go up there with me. So she went up to the altar with me, and I gave my life to Jesus that day. I accepted him into my life. And the moment, Anne, that I asked him into my life and asked for forgiveness, I literally felt the lift off of my shoulder, like all of the burdens and all the things that I had made decisions on. It was just like lifted off of me. And from that day till now, I have just been on fire for God. I've been on fire for Jesus. Anytime I can tell people about Jesus and his love and his grace and his redemption, that is, and how he can transform your life. I know my pastor that helped lead me to Christ. I went to that church for about 6 years, and he said, he would always say, I have never, he was an older man. He was in his, oh gosh, he was like probably about 64, 65. And he's like, I have never, he'd been in ministry for decades. And he's like, I had never seen a transformation like yours, like I did in those 5, 6 years that I was going there. And he would always share my testimony of how I came in with my hair all done from the night before from the bar, probably the same clothes, and then I gave my life to God, and my life just dramatic, yeah, it just transformed into saying, being obedient to God and just saying one yes at a time. And as I share that story, it makes me think that, like, how God takes beauty, or it takes ashes and turns them into beauty. And so beauty from ashes. And, my life was so dark. And so I had so many things that happened as a child, well, I should say more as a teenager. And then when I got divorced and, or I'm sorry, when my husband left me and I didn't know. So I had a lot of things going in my head of not being good enough, not being worthy enough. A lot of just self-worth things, as well as after he left, I went through depression. And then after I gave my life to him, it definitely was a walk that I had to go through. But to just tell you that right now, to just think about all the obstacles that I've gone through in my life, pre-Jesus, and then after I found Jesus, and the obstacles that I've had in my life, because we're always going to have obstacles, right? Like, that's just
Hmm.
life. If you're breathing, you're going to have obstacles. But just how God has been able to, through those obstacles, I can still find joy and I can still find peace. And I've been able to overcome a lot of darkness in my life, and now have a lot of light in my life.
Wow, that is an amazing testimony. God is so good. And you're right, he reaches out
Amen.
to us in the darkness and
Hmm.
turns on
Hmm.
the light for us.
Hmm.
And it's amazing. And I'm so glad that you took your friend up on that and that you went and had that transformation, because it makes a huge difference in your life.
Hmm.
And so how did that then lead into what you started doing after that? Did you immediately find your purpose with coaching right after that? Did that take a while to come on?
So I was doing hair. I did hair for like 21 years. And I had stumbled across this network marketing company. And I started with this network marketing company, and it had it focused on three areas: body, mind, and creating finances. And as I was going through this process, because I hated reading as a child. I hated reading as a child. And even in school, like I did not like reading at all. Like I think I read the last book I read from until I was 29, I started reading the Bible, was when I was in high school. So it had been a long time since I had read. But I would read the Bible, and that was the only thing that I pretty much read. Well, this company had those three components of body, mind, and creating finances. So
Mhm.
I started digging into the mind piece. I started digging into personal development, personal growth, which I had never done prior to that, which has been about 9 years now since I started that. It was like 2013 when I started in that network marketing company. But it had awakened me to the mind and how the mind works, and that the mind is you have the three different, the conscious, the subconscious, the unconscious mind. And I'm like, what is all of this? I don't even know what this is. So I started reading this book. It was called The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy.
Mhm.
And I started learning about our mind and why we do the things that we do. And I was so intrigued because I kept, and I'm sure yourself and the audience that's listening, you keep finding yourself stuck in situations in life. And you're like, how did I get here again? Like maybe
Yes.
it's not exactly the same situation, but it's very similar. So I started learning that there's a reason why. And I, again, just went on this journey with God and said, God, why do I keep getting stuck in these different areas? Why do I keep making these bad decisions, self sabotaging myself? Why do I keep doing this? And like, he just started placing books and podcasts and people into my life. And I started learning why we did the things that we do. And I got connected with a girl in California. At that time, I was in Ohio. She lived in California, and she offered neurolinguistic oh my gosh, neurolinguistic programming courses to get which actually I didn't even know I was going to get certified. I just thought, oh, this will be a better way to invest in myself, because I was always investing in myself. After I found that company, I knew how important it was to invest in my personal growth, my mindset, and to grow as a person. And I went over to California. I went to this class, and it answered so many things of why I acted the way I acted, why I did the things I do, and also people around me. It helped me make more sense of why people do the things that they do. And so I ended up getting certified in neurolinguistics programming. So neuro is, if people don't know, neuro is how we take the world in from all of our five senses. Linguistics is how we store it into our mind, because it goes through some filtering systems. And then programming is, that's the program that we set. So it's in our unconscious mind. So when we and a lot of the times we operate out of when we are little, from like 0 to 7, from our upbringing, from society, from school, things like that. And then we respond and react because our unconscious mind is meant to make our life easy, and it just does things on automatic. And so it's meant to just make life easy. And if it has bad programming, like a computer, like if a computer has bad programming, they have to what? They have to control alt delete it and start over. And
Mhm.
that's basically just like our mind. If we have bad programming, we have to reprogram, we have to recode. And what's awesome about it is that our brain is neuroplasticity, so it's moldable and we can change it. So if you've ever heard people say, oh, this is just the way I am, that's not the way you have to be. You can choose to be different. Now it takes some time, and sometimes it takes guidance and coaching. Sometimes people can, depending on how deep those imprints are, people, if they're not too deep, some people can just like affirmations and things like that, they can do that. But sometimes it's a little bit deeper than affirmations, and they really have to have somebody guide them through to help them to recode those memories, recode those programmings. But yeah, that's actually what got me into learning about neurolinguistics and coaching people through mindset stuff.
Wow, that's amazing. And that I agree. That's so important. And it's a good thing for people to hear. So I'm glad you're talking about that, because I think there are a lot of people who do get stuck, and
Mhm.
that stuckness is mostly in our minds. And, but the mind is a powerful thing, and it can be
Mhm.
changed, but it takes work. Um, and so are there anything you would tell people to do to get started with that? Any particular books or just any other tips to help them if they're in a spot where they're stuck, how they can get started with making those changes themselves?
Yes, that's such a good question. So, like I said, The Power of the Unconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy is a really good one. Another one that really helped me was actually Think and Grow Rich. That really helped me start working. I know me and you both
Yeah,
love that one.
love that book.
Listening to Bob Proctor, John Maxwell, Tony Robbins, Carolyn Leaf. Carolyn Leaf has a really good one. It's called Switch on Your Brain. That one's super phenomenal. But those are some of the people that I am always listening to and learning from, because they're credible people, and also like their stuff it's good, solid, it's good solid truth, and how our mind works and things like that. So those are the people I would recommend to at least spend like 10 minutes a day listening to a podcast to get yourself started, or maybe even 5 minutes if you're not really into podcast yet. Just start listening to like 5 minutes, or grab one of those books and either listen to it on audio while you're driving. Turn your car into a university and start listening to them while you're driving. A lot of them you can find on YouTube and Audible. And then, or if you like to read, just go grab them on Amazon and just start reading and start filling your brain with these things, because they're really good about teaching. Carolyn Leaf and Tony Robbins are super phenomenal about teaching you why you do the things that you do, and how to recode those things in your mind.
That's awesome and great advice. Yes, I can't believe how many things you can find on YouTube now. So many videos. And even though Bob Proctor has passed, you can find all of his videos on there on YouTube. So many lessons, so many things to learn. So that's wonderful advice.
Yeah,
And
I
so
love him.
since you started all of that, how has it changed your life? How has it made your life better by doing all of those things and learning how to sort of reset your mind?
Yeah. By understanding, because I'm a person of, and I'm sure there's a lot of people listening, I'm a person of what, why, when, where, like, why does this work the way it does, right? I want to know why. And when I started learning why, and I also started paying attention to my surroundings, my family members, listening to conversation, it was like my spidey senses were like on high. I started just like paying attention and becoming aware of the people around me, what they were saying, how they were talking. Again, a lot of it was my family, right? Like that we take after our family. And so
Mhm.
as I started really paying attention to those things, that really helped me to be able to start shifting and start just recoding and learning different things and filling my, because okay, what we put in comes out, right? So what we put in comes out. So
Mm-hmm.
if I'm listening to a whole bunch of negative is going to come out. But if I'm listening to a whole bunch of positive and I'm listening to education and I'm listening to why things work and how things work, then that's going to come out of me, right? And so as I've been in this process, and also while I was getting my certification so that I could walk people through certain modalities to help them recode their mind and recode the things, their memories. We also had to go through those processes as well. So
Mm-hmm.
when when I was learning it, I learned it, then we applied with, us students, we applied it, and we cleaned things up in our own lives. And so then now I have a testimony of, okay, well, this is how it's helped me. This is how it helped me in my life, and this is what changed by doing these different modalities, or these different techniques to recode. And so that's yeah, it's totally been life transforming between God and the neural linguistics, the NLP coaching, those two things together. Like, I'm always like, they marry perfect together, because God is, God, and he created science, and he created us to learn these things. So he has put NLP in my life to learn the nitty-gritty and the details of all the things about how the mind and the brain works. So
Wow. Yeah, as we keep saying, God is good. Yeah, and he's,
yes.
yep, if we just learn to reach out and ask, he's there. And I think a lot of us
Hmm.
don't don't feel that, we can reach out. We don't realize that we can
Hmm.
have those conversations and that he'll be there to guide us if only we learn to ask. No, that's amazing. So
Yeah.
how did all of that lead into your what you're doing now? Because I know you do, the passive income. So how did this come about? What you're working on now?
Such a good question, Anne. So it's funny because, again, God, right? God, when I found the network marketing company, I had been praying for something to change, something different. And boom, he plopped that network marketing company into my lap. And then when I found this digital marketing, passive income, of how to create multiple streams of income, again, I had been in a space of just really growing, learning, investing in myself, but I was contending in going where I wanted to go, which I think also kind of goes with, sometimes when God gives us dreams and visions, we forget about God
Hmm.
and we run ahead. And so I think some of that goes with, like, he gave me these dreams and these visions, and I was trying too hard in my own flesh. I was trying in my own ability, right? Rather than letting God do what God does best and work out the details. And so I think
Hmm.
that's where I was really contending and trying to accomplish my goals and my dreams, which I accomplished a lot of my goals and my dreams. And I do give God all the credit for that. And also, there was some things that I'm like, why is this so hard? If this is really what I'm supposed to be doing, this shouldn't be this hard, right?
Hmm.
And so I was just, again, in a time of prayer, and a time, like, I talk to God like I'm talking to you right now. I talk to him like he is just sitting right here in the room, and we do dishes together, we clean together, we walk together, we do everything together. And so I was just praying to him. I'm like, God, like, I just I don't know what I'm doing wrong. What am I doing wrong? And, I just really need something to help me. Because I was doing a lot of, I homeschool. I have 5 children, but 4 of them are out of the house. We only have one at home. He's 8 years old. We full time in an RV for the last almost 3 years. And I homeschool him. And I was spending a lot of time doing phone calls and doing all the business building activities, and also homeschooling. And the reason I homeschool is, one, because we live in an RV, but two, like, I always wanted to homeschool my older children, and I wasn't able to homeschool them because at the time, like that's just where my life was. I couldn't do that. So with him, I've gotten another opportunity to actually be the mom that I always wanted to be to my older kids, and also a stay-at-home mom, but yet also at the same time being a person to have you know, something of meaning and purpose too, so like I have meaning and purpose with homeschooling, but also that meaning and purpose, like, because we're programmed to work. I've been working since I was, oh my gosh, like I would think I was like 9 when I had my first babysitting job. So I've been working for decades of my life. But anyways, so I was praying and I was just asking God, I'm like, God, like I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired of phone calls. I'm tired of reaching out to people. I'm tired of, doing emails and trying to find this, speaking opportunities and this and that, and, building my business. God, I'm tired. I'm just tired. And he I asked him, like, what do I do? What do you want me to do? And he told me, I want you to focus on your baby, your boy. He's not a baby, but he's 8. But he's my baby, right? He's the baby.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to focus on Maverick. You need to focus on Maverick right now. And so I was like, but God, like, I really feel like, you want me to speak and you want me to do all these different things. You want me to coach and da 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 da. And he was like, I want you to focus on Maverick. That's what I want you to focus on right now. And it gave me peace to just lay down everything and just say, okay, God, because I mean, we have to make money, right? And so, we got to make money. We got to feed ourselves. I have a husband, but it's always, nice to help. And so God just really gave me peace that it was okay to lay all that stuff down. Because again, I think I ran a little ahead of God and I was listening to too many people of the world and in the business industry and other people, other coaches that, are, business coaches and, things like that. So I got wrapped up in what everybody else was telling me to do rather than what God was telling me to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I laid all that stuff down and I was just praying to God, asking him, God, well, I need to make money. How do I make money, but also stay at home with my son? And at that time, I had heard the buzz about digital marketing, passive income, things like that, automations and funnels and capture pages. And I'm like, my brain was like it was like all, like twitching and stuff. Cause I'm like, I don't understand. Cause people would try to explain to me, but I just didn't understand it. And then I saw a post, like it was just like within a few days after I was like, okay, God, I'm going to listen and be obedient because that's what you want me to do. And so you know what's best for me. So I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to focus on my child. And that's what we're going to do. And you're going to provide the rest because that's what you do. And like literally within days, my friend made a post that she had bought this digital marketing and she had actually bought it like a year ago. And I said, girl, what's this about? And she's like, she was telling me that somebody that we both know from our old business, our old network marketing company, she said that she's like, oh, well, so and so, this is what she did. And she was making, good money. So there's a success story. And then she was like, and then 2 of my girlfriends just started that they're doing this program and they are having great success. And she's like, I've been sitting on it for a year. I'm going to just go jump all in and see what happens. And I'm like, well, what is it? And she's like, I don't know. I really don't know what it is. I just know these people have had success. And I was like, okay. I'm like, well, I trust you. And I know this person that's had great success because I'm still friends with her on social media. And I was like, let me dive in and see what this is all about. And oh my gosh, after I dove in and I started learning about passive income, automations, digital marketing, and all the things that go with it, I was like, as I started digging in and learning, I'm like, how did I not understand this? How did I not know? How did I not know about this? Like, why did I wait so long? Because I've been seeing it for a while now. And so that is what I that is how I have started to create some passive income. And then I show other people how to create the passive income. So you can create your own digital products. You can and it's all done on automations. Your business is working for you 24/7. You don't have to DM people. You don't have to call people. You don't have to follow up with people. They just get into your automations and then boom, it's so easy. I'm like, oh my gosh, why didn't I have this when I had my network marketing company? This would have been so much nicer. And yeah, so and how to grow my YouTube, how to grow my TikTok, how to grow my other social media platforms, how to create my own digital products and my own digital courses and things like that. And then how to attract my ideal clients. And then people just come to me. Like I have grown an email list and I had no email list. And I have grown an email list by that attractional marketing. I know in this course that I sell, that other people can also sell and create an income. It's called it's like being an affiliate marketer. And so
Mhm.
you don't have to create the product. So I didn't create this product that I'm selling, but I have the selling rights to sell this product. And then she's teaching us how to do all those things plus so much more. Like it is like, and I have paid so much money for courses, programs, and things like that. And I'm probably at least over $100,000 in the last 3 years of doing this stuff, of speaking
Wow.
and podcast and writing my own book and all the things. But this course, for such a low investment and no monthly payments, no building teams,
Mm.
no, like you get 100% of the commission. And so that again was another plop. God just answered the prayer when I was obedient. But it all goes back to when I was obedient and
Mhm.
I prayed to God and I said, okay, God, this isn't working. What do I need to do? And then when I said, okay, God, well, that's all those other things is really what I want to do right now. But if you want me to just focus on my son right now, then I'm going to just focus on my son right now. And then he plops this in my life. So I'm able to just do a 2-hour workday. And it's you can't even call it a work day. Like it's so easy. And so I just really like post some content and just learn do some learning and post on some free ads, classified ads, and that's my work day. I'm like this is easy. You can just kind of do it in the nooks and crannies of your day. And yeah, so it gave me a way to provide, to help, with the income coming into the house, as well as being able to stay at home with my son and homeschool him, invest time in him, pour into him, and not be worried about, oh no, I got a phone call, or oh no, I got to do this, or oh no, I got to do that, right? And
Mhm.
so that is the story of how passive income and digital marketing has come about for me.
Wow, that's awesome. And it
Yeah,
sounds like
it's
an amazing
amazing.
program. So I'm gonna have to ask you about
Yes.
that later.
Yeah, it's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, and it's awesome that it's providing you a way to spend that time with your son and be the mom that you want to be. And
Hmm.
so for any of the audience, anybody out there who is, has an idea, has a dream, or even wants to get into something like that, is, what piece of advice would you give them for basically either getting started or, accomplishing that dream?
Yeah, so again, just going to God and when we have these dreams and these visions inside of us and we write them down, we think that it's supposed to happen a certain way, right? Because we have
Hmm.
our own perception, we make up our own things, we see other people and how they do it, right? But what I've learned is God placed all these dreams and these visions inside of me, but I was focused on doing it not his way, but I
Mm-hmm.
got wrapped up in the world's way. And so, what I would have to say to the audience is when you have those goals, you have those dreams, and you have those visions, be open to God and how, pray to God and how He is going to open those doors, how He is going to bring it to reality. You know, I was listening to a sermon just last night from my brother-in-law, and he was talking about how, you know, the ocean is so big and the universe is so big. And I guess scientists, I didn't know about this, but scientists have said that the universe is expanding and it's getting bigger. And yeah, I know he does his research, so I'm like, oh well, that's interesting. I'm definitely going to look into learn more about that. But I definitely trust my brother-in-law and the things that he says because he always researches things before he says it. But anyways, but his point is that God is so vast and so big, and He just wants, like, there's no limits on God. You know, if
Mm-hmm.
you're in a boat in the middle of the ocean, miles and miles and miles away from shore, when you look in every direction, you see nothing but ocean. Big ocean, right? That's how big our God is. And when we let God do the things that God does and we say, okay, God, I'm going to take my hands off. I'm going to get out of the way and I'm going to let you do the things that you want to do in and through me and let you figure out the details. So if you've been doing something in your life and for a moment I felt like I was like, well, I failed at this or I failed at that because I was trying to do this and I was trying to do that, I was trying to grow a business and try to speak and all the things, which I did some of those things, but it wasn't the way I wanted it, right? I thought I
Mm-hmm.
should have been further along. But when I really think about it, I think about how what may look like failure is never failure, it's always feedback. And when I sit and reflect on that and say, and over the last several, months and couple years of my life, that I think about, it's not failure. It's just time for me to sit and let God do what He wants to do in the way that He wants to do it. So that's what I would say to the audience is just when you have those goals and those dreams inside of you, they're put inside you for a reason, and to go to God and let Him lead the way and be open to whatever that looks like. And when opportunities come your way, because I've had a lot of opportunities, Anne, but some of the opportunities I thought they were good opportunities. So I'm like, oh, this is a good opportunity. So I jumped on it, but I didn't pray about it first. There was a few of them that I didn't pray about first. And so I would encourage to, before you jump into something, really take it to God. And I know some people are like, "Oh, that's just a excuse to not say yes right now." No. No, because I could have eliminated a lot of stuff if I would have, because I used to have that in my head because I've had that said before. I didn't want to be that person. Oh, that's just an excuse. But now I'm like, no, like, pray about it. If there's an opportunity that you're supposed to take, God will give you peace about it. And if you get peace about it, then yeah, do it. But I've learned that salespeople are good salespeople for a reason. So they end up getting you into something, because they get into your feels because they know how to get into your feels, right? And then you're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, like, this is from God, and maybe some of them are, but I think some of them aren't. So yeah, so just pray about it. Pray about those opportunities, that be open for opportunities and how they come, but also pray about them so that so you can avoid going down the wrong path and get to
Yes.
your goals and your dreams faster.
Yes. Amen to that. Because yeah,
Yeah.
like you said, there's a lot of people out there who are doing great things,
Hmm.
and they will try to convince you that what they're doing is what you should also be doing. And
Hmm.
you're right, your path may be something completely different. And it doesn't mean either way is wrong. It's just what's good for one person may not be what's good for another person. Maybe a
Right.
completely different path. So, yes, I'm glad you brought that up. And definitely always pray over it. I do that all the time. And so, and of course, you have the book, How to Make Your Mark
Yes.
in the World. And I know you wrote that from all of these things, that you've learned and you've done. And so, what's something from the book? I mean, you can tell us a little about the book, and then what is something from the book you that would encourage people to read it, and something you want them to get from it that can help them in their life?
Yeah, yeah. So, the book is just some more of my story, like those things that I shared with you in the beginning. Those bad choices that I was making that got me into that really dark pit. It shares a little bit more about the journey of my divorce, and before I found God, and what really led me to God, and then it starts there. It shares my story, and then just some of the things that we shared on here of my walk and with God, and my personal development, and just going through basically a lot of the things that we talked about here today. It has bits and pieces of those in there, but a little bit more, elaborates a little bit more. And what I would want people to take away from my book is that there's hope and inspiration, and that there's redemption, and that no matter what we've done in life, God is Redeemer, and those things don't define us. My hope is really for people that read my book, is that it's hope and inspiration of, even though I've made bad choices, but look what the outcome can be. It's
Hmm.
with God, it's so much easier. And so he can make beauty out of a mess. So,
Yes, I love that. Yeah. Hope and is so important in life.
mhm.
And I think, you can't get anywhere without hope.
Mhm.
And so many people give up, too soon. Like I said, as you mentioned before, they feel that they haven't accomplished something. It's a failure when really it's maybe just a pause, or it's, taking a new path. It's not
Yeah.
failure. And it's not failure until you give up. And
Yep.
so if you keep that hope, you keep that faith, you can do anything. Like you said, with God, all things are possible.
Amen.
So I love that. So thank you for sharing that too.
Thank you.
And something I like to ask people, we've talked a lot about books, but
Mhm.
what is your favorite book, if you can name one, and why?
Okay, well, I would have to say the Bible.
That's a
Is
good
that
answer.
allowed?
Yes. Yes, that's a perfect answer. Yes. And I
Yeah,
think,
and why?
and at this point, I think everybody knows why.
Right, right. Yeah, and like I hear people say, "Oh, I wish life came with an instruction manual. Or I wish these kids came with an instruction manual." It did.
It
It
does.
really did. The Bible has every single area of life and every emotion that you would possibly deal with. It has everything in there. So it is your ultimate guide in
Hmm.
life. So that I would have to say Bible, and that is why.
Yep. And it really is. And as you mentioned before, you weren't always a reader. And I
Mhm.
know some people aren't, but what they can do now, there's an app,
Mhm.
there's audio. So if you aren't a reader, it really is no excuse. You
Yeah.
can still read the Bible in that way. And through the app, like you were just saying, there's so many areas, it covers every area of our life. You can do searches. If
Yep.
you are looking for hope, look up hope, and it'll pop up different verses. If you are sad, if you are grieving, put those words in and it will bring you to verses that will help you through those areas. So you're right. It does. It covers every area of life. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Great
Area
answer.
and emotion. So,
And true. Yes, he's always there to help. And so I
yep.
love that. And please tell our listeners where they can find you and, find out about your coaching, about the passive income, your speaking, anything that you do.
Yes. So I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook. Instagram, TikTok, and you can on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, you can just look Rachel Best. And then on TikTok, it's Make Money Now with Rachel. And um
And what is your website address?
yes, that's what I was going to say. My website is Make Money Now with Rachel. My name is Rachel, and then .com, and then / and
Okay.
that will bring you right to my digital marketing. I offer 4 different products on there, so that's where you can find all that. And if you want to learn more about coaching or speaking or being on podcasts or things like that, you can just find me on social, or usually find me on social is the best option. Facebook is really good. So
Awesome. Okay. I'm going to add those links to the episode notes so people can find
perfect.
you and reach out to
Perfect.
you. Thank you again for being a guest today. You are amazing, as I
Oh,
told
thank
you
you.
before. I know that the audience is going to get wonderful things out of this. And so I really appreciate you sharing all that you did and, telling us about your story. Thank you also to my amazing audience for joining us today on the Story Shepherd podcast. Keep creating your epic life story movie, and please join me next time as we continue transforming lives one story at a time.